Behind me is my 2024 2SS 1LE Camaro, and over the past couple of videos it has been extremely dirty. The car probably hasn't been cleaned in around 3 weeks, and I've been super busy, haven't really had time, running all over the place. So today it's Friday and we're gonna go ahead and clean this car for the weekend. Got a couple events that are going on, and I wanted to show you guys how I clean the car and kind of what I do to mitigate scratches, especially because the car is so dirty. Obviously, the last thing we want to do is cause any damage to the paint, and so far this car is in pretty good condition as far as the paint, because I've been really careful cleaning it when I do. Obviously don't take it through car washes, try to spray it down really good before, but anyways, let's get to it. Wanted to show you kind of how dirty it is right now, that way you get an idea, and then we'll show the end result. I'm gonna go ahead and open up the garage as well. The garage is not really all that lit. We've got 3 puck lights. I've got plans to do some stuff, I'm just not really sure yet. I really like the hex light design. I know it's kind of overused, but I like that light. Maybe I won't do the hex, maybe I'll do something interesting, but we'll see. Let me go ahead and open the garage and show you the car. So starting from the front, I don't know if you can see this on the camera, but the hood is super dirty. There's dirt and crap all over it. And you can kind of start to see the buildup around the hood vent, and it actually kind of looks like it's not factory wrapped. In person, it kind of looks like it has a design, which is kind of neat because you can see how the air goes over the hood. Moving on to the side, you can see it is very, very dirty, and the wheels, which are just plastered in brake dust. If I come over here, it is pretty bad. These brakes are really good at stopping, but really horrible when it comes to dust. Continuing on to the back, as I zoom in, you'll notice there is a lot of dirt on the back of the taillights, under the taillights, above the license plate, even on top of the trunk lid. Pretty bad. But one of the places that you'll really notice it the most is when you open the door and you see the black buildup inside the door. Now that we've established the state of neglect that my car is in, let's go ahead and fix that. Let me go ahead and move a car out of the way, that way I can get out. We have the driveway to wash, and we'll start. One last thing worth noting is how dirty the tips are. Obviously these are a brushed stainless tip, but right now I think you can very easily tell what mode I typically keep this car in. You'll notice the inner tips are rather dirty, but the outer tips are destroyed. So first things first, we're gonna be using a 2-bucket method, probably the safest method. Pressure washer still in storage. So 2-bucket method, one with just water, one with soapy water. Rinse, soap, wash the car, come back, repeat. And then we'll do the wheels. Typically I do the wheels first, but I only have 2 buckets here. I don't know where my 3rd bucket went. So we're going to wash the actual car, and then we'll come back and wash the wheels. First thing is some cheap Walmart soap, because again, haven't been in this house too long and really haven't had a chance to kind of build up my detailing stuff again. Remember, I've gone 2 or 3 years without having a car like this. I had a Jeep and I was lazy and just took it to the car wash. So now we've got to rebuild up all of those detailing supplies again, and we'll talk about a couple things that I would like to get here pretty soon to help make washing the car a little bit easier. So the initial rinse is done. Now we're gonna move on to actually scrubbing the car. A ton of bugs on the front. I've been on the highway a lot. So far I've had this car for maybe 2 months, and I've got almost 4,000 miles on it. So I do about 2,000 miles a month. So let's get to scrubbing and get this car clean. So we've done the hood, the roof, rear glass. Now we're gonna rinse this off to the front fenders. Okay, so 1 fender down. Every body panel, we're gonna go ahead and rinse this off. We're gonna go top down. Obviously the dirtiest part's gonna be down here. So like I said, each time we do a panel, we are going to rinse, soap, and then repeat. And halfway through we'll flip. And again, rinse, soap, and repeat. Rather than have you guys watch the entire thing. Cue the time lapse. Now that all the bugs are scrubbed off of it, all the dirt's gone, let's go ahead, rinse it off. We'll pull it back in the garage. I'm gonna go get the blower, and then we'll pull it in the garage and do a final dry. Car is clean. It's roughly dried off. It's not perfect. There's still some spots here and there, but we're gonna move on to the wheels. Still gotta clean the wheels. We will rinse them off a little bit more, scrub them with the brushes that we have for the wheels, rinse them off, dry them off, pull the car in the garage, and do a final wipe down. Okay, so first off, no more crouching down. I have a chair. On to the final wipe down, and then I'd like to discuss a couple products that I plan on buying along with first mod for this car, which is on its way, kind of. So let's go ahead. I'm gonna do a final wipe down, get some detail spray. Also probably go back over the wheels and kind of get in the cracks because like behind the spokes, I can still see where some dirt was missed. Let's go ahead and do that. Get the outside taken care of. And then quickly, I'd like to move on to the inside, wipe a couple things down, vacuum the floors, and we'll move on. So let's talk about some of the products that that I plan to purchase. Stuff that's really gonna help streamline washing the car. That way, maybe I'm not so lazy. One of the top products that I would like to get in the next 6 months is the Master Blaster. I'm not sure if many of you guys have heard about it, but it's something that I've wanted since probably 2015-ish and just could never really bring myself to spend the $500 or $600 on it. But after using a leaf blower, clean the car for 10 or so years, I think it's time I invest a little bit more money into products that are going to not only make everything easier, but preserve the paint on this car. That way I'm not having to do paint corrections all the time. So yeah, that first product is Master Blaster. It's like an 8-horse blower. It kind of looks like a vacuum, but it filters the air, heats the air, and it's like a really pinpoint jet of air to help blow the car off. That way, you know, rather than using a leaf blower, which is kind of a broad spout, it's a more direct stream of air, and it helps dry off a lot faster. Another product that I'm thinking about getting is a Kranzel pressure washer. I have a 4,000 PSI gas pressure washer, but it's kind of a pain to set up every time. It's also not here. It's at a friend's house because they borrow it and they use it all the time. So a 4,000, maybe 3,500 PSI electric pressure washer that actually has 3 to 4 gallons per minute. It's going to be an expensive pressure washer, but I think it'd be worth it. It's something that I can keep off in this corner of the garage, typically not on film because it's got toolboxes and an ice machine and stuff over there. But something I can keep over in that corner, hook up a quick connect to it, flick it on and use it versus having to pull the gas one out of the garage, hook it up. There's no quick connects on that one. I think that would make it a lot easier. That, and I can start using my foam cannon again. I've had a foam cannon since 2012, and the same foam cannon, by the way, and it has never failed. It's worked perfectly all these years, so 10 years, and I haven't used it since probably 2021 when I got the Jeep because I had a car wash membership. I was too lazy to wash a car that big, and it's just kind of sat. So a pressure washer that can accommodate a really, really good foam cannon is something that's high up on the list. Let's talk about first mods for the car and kind of my vision for this car over the next couple of years. I would like to have everything done to this car first year of owning it, but we'll see because some of those things are definitely going to be a little bit further down the line. As of now, I have ordered the first mod for this car, and it is probably going to take somewhere around 10 to 12 weeks to get here. I ordered a set of ARH 1 7/8 long tube headers with the intermediate pipe. That way it cuts off somewhere about here on the car, and it still ties into the factory NPP. My plan is to keep some sort of valved exhaust. So for now, I want to do headers. I'm going to do catless, so I'd like to keep the factory MPP exhaust. That way I have the option to not be so loud. And then later on down the road, if I decide to go with an exhaust system, it is 100% going to be the Corsa Extreme Plus, which is the valved system. It uses the factory actuators, and I've actually heard that system before, and they say it's quieter with the valves closed for whatever reason, and I believe it. I've actually heard it with long tube headers, and it is absolutely quieter than any SS with long tube headers and a factory MPP. So first mod on the way. Just got a text literally 10 seconds ago with the order confirmation for that, and hopefully it is maybe less than 10 weeks. I know American Racing Headers is in the process of moving, and that could cause delays, but fingers crossed. The next thing that I would like to get, or I guess the order in which I would like to do stuff, is the long tube headers. Obviously I need a tune. I think I'm gonna go to GPI for that, and an intake. I'm considering Rotofab, but we'll see. I think for what I'm gonna do at first, I could probably just use the factory air intake, and because it's not sucking out from under the hood, I'm gonna get cooler temperatures anyways. But I think the long-term goal for this car would be somewhere in the 550 to the wheel range. And the way I plan to get there is long tube headers, obviously an intake. I'm still considering which intake manifold I'd like to get. I would love a high rise, but the issue is I don't want to cut my hood. So I think I'm going to go with the MSD Atomic, and then a Nick Williams or some other 103mm throttle body. And then after that, the engine work. So I'd like to either send my heads off to get ported by GPI, or buy a set of Frankenstein heads for this car and do a cam, most likely from BTR, because the C6 Z06 has a BTR cam, and I love the way that car sounds along with how it drives. For being a stage 3 cam, which I know they're going away from stages, the stage 3 cam in the Corvette drives like pretty close to stock. It doesn't surge at lower RPMs, and it's super easy to drive. When you're taking off, it's not bucking back and forth. So definitely like the products that BTR is putting out, and we'll see how much further I go from there. So with the car being here, I think my plan is for this side of this wall to be kind of like the detailing wall. I'd like to put a shelf right here. Like I said, if I end up getting that Master Blaster, I'd probably mount it here and have the hose coiled up right there. That way I can just uncoil the hose. It has a pretty long hose. Flick it on, do what I have to do, hang it back up, and there's no need to take it off the wall. Along with the pressure washer, which will likely be, like I said, on the far side over there, because the water spigot's over there. But we'll have to see. And I think as far as the garage, we need lights, because right here, right there, and right there, there's only 3 lights in this garage. They're not all that bright, and especially at nighttime, we could definitely use some more. I've actually been looking online at the hex lights, and there are some cheaper options. You can actually order them from overseas. Same exact product at like a third of the price. I think I can do the lights in the entire garage for about $500 or $600. On that note, I've got a little bit more cleaning up to do in this car before I can head back inside and finish up a little bit more work. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys have any questions or maybe even suggestions as far as performance mods and recommendations, please feel free to leave them, and I'll be sure to get to the comments and look through and see what others are saying. Till next time.